force. In Yemen, the protests against President Ali Abdullah Saleh have gained momentum with more senior defections to the opposition. Some prominent generals and a top tribal leader, along with key ambassadors, are now calling for him to step down. But Yemen's defence minister says the army will defend the president. Humphrey Hawksley has this report.
Cheering in the Yemeni capital Sana'a. After weeks of demonstrations, there's a celebratory atmosphere. Support for President Saleh is ebbing away. The fall of the government in Yemen will be just like what happened in Egypt, he says. Over the weeks, officials and tribal leaders have been joining these crowds. Now several military officers have come into the square to publicly show their support.
I announce my joining of the youth's revolution in order to bring down the corrupt dictatorial regime.
We will finish the revolution, God willing, for Yemen and its noble demands.
The killings on Friday of more than 50 protesters has upped the stakes. For many, that crossed a line to the unacceptable. Soldiers have taken up positions across the city, at the presidential palace and the other government buildings, but it wasn't certain what their orders were, although their general was calling on President Saleh to avoid more violence and step down.
On behalf of officers and commanders in the armed forces, I declare our peaceful support of the youth revolution and their demands that we will fulfill our duties in maintaining security and stability in the capital and other cities.
But a differing voice from behind another big office desk, the Defence Minister Mohammed Nasser Ahmed pledging his support for the beleaguered president. Yemen is one of the poorest countries in the Arab world, with almost half its 24 million people living below the poverty line. Much is remote and many communities are out of government control. Al-Qaeda operates from here, and American officials have described Yemen as being close to a failed state. Here is an American ally and a dictatorship whose failure to win the trust of its people has now spilt onto the streets, with an impact that could reach far beyond Yemen itself. Humphrey Hawksley, BBC News.